So I'm a big fan, guys, of the Far Cry series. I've absolutely loved it. Ever since really, I mean, we could talk about Far Cry 3 is really what got me into Far Cry in a major way. 4, I thought was a pretty good continuation. 5 was my favorite, really, all time. I absolutely loved Far Cry 5. And Far Cry 6, guys, look, at the end of the day, when I look at like the comparison, the tiers, Far Cry 5 and 6 are very close. And I've got to play Far Cry 6 one more time just to kind of give you a full, that full disclosure whether I think it's actually better than 5 or slightly under that. I know a lot of people thought that the third one was the best, but I thought that 5 overtook 3 in my opinion, and even 6 has overtaken 3 as well. And so that being said, one of the biggest criticisms I've had of the Far Cry series is the lack of multiplayer. And look, there are multiplayer modes, right? We can talk about multiplayer in Far Cry 5. We can talk that there's multiplayer technically in Far Cry 6 as well. But in Far Cry 6, the multiplayer is just playing it cooperatively, that being, playing the campaign from a co-op perspective. And for me, guys, even though this is awesome and I think that this is great for the game to have it where you can play with your friends and go take down Anton Castillo and, be the savior, right? I still feel, though, that there needs to be PvP modes. This is a first-person shooter that is, I believe, one of the best out there. When we talk about first-person shooter titles out there, you think of Call of Duty, you think of Battlefield, you think of, obviously, Valorant, CSGO, a lot of these different titles. Far Cry, in my mind, from a gameplay perspective, is up there with those titles. If they were to create a PvP style where obviously you're going up against other people across in the world, right? I think it would open up, just so much potential for people when it comes to, and just so much opportunity to not only replayability, having people come back to the game over and over again to play with their friends or to play against other people. It just would create, I just think, an even better culture than what Far Cry already has. Because when we think about Call of Duty, you think about a title that is the #1 best-selling game every single year that it comes out. There are millions upon millions of people that play it just for the multiplayer experiences. And every year you see how it gets bigger and bigger. Number 2, you see the esports scene is growing year over year as well. The Call of Duty League is growing in a major way. Far Cry, in my mind, could totally be that. It could be something where you not only have it being PvP, but then go even further than that. Go to the esports realm. Go to a very competitive style there. I think Far Cry is right there. It's on the cusp. It could be that next big first-person shooter title that not only you could play from a, just a casual experience playing against other people or playing with your friends, but you could play it from a competitive perspective as well. And that's something that I think that Ubisoft is not there when it comes to their titles that they bring out. They bring out certain multiplayer experiences. They try to make it a little bit different, and I really respect them for that. We look at games like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. They tried some different things when it came to the multiplayer experiences, and I thought it was really interesting. But Far Cry, they've got this title that has so much potential to be not only an incredible single-player experience, which it already is, but it could also have incredible co-op modes, which they're adding, of course. But having a real multiplayer experience where would bring you back to the title over and over again. Because I'll tell you this, guys, after I'm done beating Far Cry 6 a second time, that being the story, I'm going to move on to other games because there's not a true multiplayer experience with, Far Cry 6 to bring me back to the experience over and over again, to play with my friends, but playing up against other people, creating a team of people to compete against other people. You don't have that. And so you're going to just move on to other games or move on to games that do have that. And so that's why I feel, even though Far Cry 6, Far Cry 5 are absolutely incredible titles, and Ubisoft, I believe, is taking, they're kind of raising the bar each game. I think that they're not raising it in a way where you're in a multiplayer perspective. And I know a lot of people don't feel like you have to have multiplayer experiences. I just have always said that having a full package, that being a single player story, co-op modes, and multiplayer modes, It justifies the $60 price tag, and then it brings you back to the experience over and over again. After you beat the single player story, you can play with your friends. When you don't want to play with your friends, you want to play by yourself and you want to play in a multiplayer competitive environment, you can do that as well. Or if you just want to play from a casual perspective, you can do that. Play against other people, play against waves and waves of enemies in a PvP setting or a PvE setting. Those are all ways that you can connect with these franchises. And I think that's really important, guys, when we look at the entire ecosystem that is gaming. I just truly believe that you need to have multiple ways that you can really just kind of dive into a title in this landscape, especially when you have so many games out there now that are free to play and that have these awesome multiplayer experiences. Far Cry, I believe, could be such a great multiplayer experience. I mean, just all the different ways that they could, and Ubisoft is very creative. They could come up with all kinds of different game modes that you've never even heard of before, but that's just the power of gaming, guys. They could create so many amazing different game modes, and it could be something so special at the end of the day, but they have not done that at this point in time. It's up to us, though, as the community, to voice our opinion to the developers, saying, hey, look, your game is awesome, but we really want to also have multiplayer experiences that we can play with our friends, not so much just in a campaign perspective, but from a competitive perspective. From a casual perspective, playing against other people across the world, creating those servers that you can play against other people would be so huge. And who knows where it could go, guys? It could go into the esports realm. The game becomes nationally televised. I mean, it's something that could be absolutely incredible over the course of time, but it just starts with creating the foundations of multiplayer experiences. And that's my real hope here with Far Cry moving forward. But let me know, guys, do you think that multiplayer should be a bigger emphasis of this in the Far Cry universe? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Far Cry 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.